where can you go and make connections? Where can you go and give back? Because I truly believe that gratitude is such a life-changing thing for our mindset, for who we are, and it gets us busy. So could you go and volunteer for a charity? If you're looking to move your price point, this is a killer one that is easy for you and for other people. A lot of the country clubs, a lot of the yacht clubs do charity events. So find out what charity they're supporting, go work with that charity, make great connections. At the same time, go support the event that's going to raise the money. You get to give back, you get to meet people, you get to support a charity, and you get to have a fun event.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Grounds for Success with Espresso Agent, where we give you the tips to become the neighborhood expert. And today I am elated to be able to introduce my friend I've known for quite some time, Melannie Hay. She's not only a producing real estate agent, but she also is a Tom Ferry coach. So I'm super excited to see what kind of things that she's going to drop our way today. Be ready to take some notes. Melannie, please take a few seconds and introduce us, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to get into it.
Well, my favorite thing to say is obviously I'm Australian, but I love to say in Michigan, I'm from the mitten. Of those of you who don't know what Michigan looks like, the bottom part looks like a mitten, and I'm from here, which is right on the edge of Lake Michigan. If you jumped across the lake, you'd end up in Chicago. So if you don't know much about geography, I don't know much about the rest of it, but that's the geography I know. I've been here about 15 years now. Originally, I followed my heart and followed an online romance, which is no longer, and then I've stayed afterwards. So I've been here 15 years, and I've been in real estate almost in my 13th year. And I basically sell vacation rental investment properties along Lake Michigan, obviously others. And then, I love to coach. It's one of my favorite things in the world to pour into other people.
What made you go from being a producing agent to also wanting to take on coaching? Tell me a little bit about your thought process behind that, and what was the decision making?
I think part of it is legacy. So I wasn't blessed with children. I do have a miniature schnauzer. But I was like, how can I contribute and give back? And how can I help change other people's lives? And there's a couple things I've done, but this is one of the biggest ones. And it was the opportunity to look at what other people's businesses were and help them through it. And I kind of try to take a holistic approach. So I like to see where they're going financially, emotionally. I like to balance work life and business, and I like to see the growth.
It's like pulling back all the layers with somebody. You're not just coaching them in their business, but also in their lives, which I love.
Yeah, because business isn't who we are. I mean, a lot of us do tend to put identity into
Yes.
business, but it's not
Yep.
really who we are.
That's
It's
right.
who we go home to. It's who we spend our time with.
Yeah.
And it's where we really it's why we work. If you're
Yeah.
working solely for the reason of work, I would challenge you that you probably need a bit more.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So one of the things that we've discussed, and I know is kind of getting revamped up and getting ready to shoot off again, is the 100K in 100 days. So I know there are a lot of people who are like, what is 100K in 100 days? Well, it literally is what it is, which is 100K in 100 days. But tell me about somebody who wants to get started. Well, first of all, what is it? And also, what would be the advice that you'd give an agent who wants to take on this challenge either now or the beginning of the year? I'm one of those people let's not wait till, Tuesday to start something. Let's start it now. So, but what would they need to know, and what do they need to expect to be able to start that challenge?
So first thing is a Tom Ferry designed course, and it comes with coaching. So you are automatically going to be involved in a course when you sign up. Will have the opportunity. Some people don't take up. What it is, it's about learning to build your pipeline, consistent prospecting, and as future business in the funnel as well as current business. I think too many of us are not taking advantage of our sphere, the people that we already know, the people that they know. We're so busy off looking for the next shiny object or the next, I'm going to have ads here and there. And yes, those can be good. But the whole heart of our business, the center of our business is the business we've already done and the people that we already know. And so it's taking listing leads, which is an offshoot, a separate thing, using those tools, but putting them into a defined program. And it goes for 100 days. There is a bi-weekly meeting where you meet up with a coach who instructs you on and answers all the questions, and then is there to give encouragement and to walk you through. That's outside of your regular coaching. So this is an additional course. Now, if you're looking to start up right now, I think the biggest thing is to start taking action. This is the time of year which I hate the most, because I truly feel Halloween or Thanksgiving, people suddenly take a break and then they wonder in January, February, March, April, why there's no business.
Yep.
And to drop one of my favorite books, Fanatical Prospecting, there's two things in that I took out. The first is whatever you're doing today shows up in 60 to 90 days. If
Yes.
you're going to make those calls, you make those connections and reach out to those people, circle prospect, circle dial, geo farm, you need to be doing it now. And the
Yep.
second thing is you need to track and measure because
Yep.
we, in the book, and I'm probably changing this paraphrase around, but they talk about this guy who's complaining that everybody else is doing business and
Mhm.
he's not doing business. And they go, well, let's go look at your numbers. And he'd had one phone call. So basically, he'd had a really intense
Mhm.
conversation with somebody, probably talked about 10 topics, and in his brain had converted that to 10 calls. But he wasn't doing the numbers, and it is a numbers game.
Mhm. That's right. So it's interesting you say that because there's a quote, and I'll probably butch this as well, but you can't be upset about the results you don't get from the effort you don't put in.
That's correct.
And a lot of people do that. Like a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to do it once. And if it doesn't work, I don't get anything from it, then it doesn't work. Like open house is an exact example of that, where somebody will say, oh, well, I host an open house and they don't work because I didn't get anybody. It's like, okay, well, let's talk about what you did to prepare for that open house and to market that open hall, that open house. Let's break, do you have a system, an SOP, a checklist? And 9 times out of 10, I would say 10 times out of 10, it's probably because they didn't put forth any effort. And you can't get upset about the results you're not getting. So it's interesting what you said about the 60, 90-day cycle. So I say that all the time. I actually talked about this on another podcast where I said a lot of agents, I feel like the agents who continue to work through Thanksgiving and through Christmas, there's a lot of opportunity. Like I have more pending now than I did in August, because I'm still working. And so I tell people all the time, like, listen, the people who take off, what they don't realize is they're basically taking off 6 months out of the year, because you take off in November for Thanksgiving. If you take off in December, that's 2 months. If you start again January 1 or even the beginning of January, like we're in 90-day cycles. So just like you said, whatever you do now, you're not going to reap the benefits of that for 60 to 90 days. That puts you at like half the year just to take off those 2 months. So don't do it.
Yeah.
Do not do it. Do something. Even if you just scale back your business a little bit, sometimes people do a lot of like reflecting in their business and things like that at the end of the year. So what are some things that you think agents should be focusing on to build their pipelines that they probably are not? You talked about sphere of influence. I would love to know about what about those people who say, ooh, but I feel weird because I haven't talked to them in a long time. Like, what is your advice on those things?
Okay, so I feel like I have so many soapboxes to stand on, but the first one is we live in this society that makes us think that we're connected because social media is out there and we
Yeah.
think we know what's going on. And yet,
Yeah.
so many people still are very selective about what's going on in their lives and they're not vulnerable. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And there are so many people who are dying for a human connection and would like to get to know you. As realtors, we get so involved in people's lives for such a period of time. I've actually had clients afterwards, I'm sure you have too, call you up because they're getting like withdrawal because they've had so much so much communication with you. They're like, oh, now I'm missing this person. People
Yeah.
do want to hear from you, and you have to remember, come at it from a point of service, not a point of want. Which then, have you ever heard the phrase commission breath?
Yes, I have.
If you don't have a
People
lot of
smell from a
business.
mile away. Yeah.
So if you don't have a lot of business going on, you might grasp hold of this person who said, I'm looking to sell in 12 months. And so you're like, why aren't they calling me? No, you need more people in the funnel. You should have 3 times as many people in the funnel as you want to do business. But you could be reaching out to people and being of service. You can be, one of my favorite things that I tell people all the time is get together a fantastic contractor list. And then the way to do this, I personally think Facebook is one of the best places. I think Facebook's toxic, but I love this for this. Jump on the groups, find out who's looked for an electrician previously or a plumber. Reach out to that person, ask them if they'll be a personal referral. Call that electrician, call that plumber, ask
Mhm.
them, are you working over Thanksgiving? Are you working over Christmas? Now you've made a personal connection. You say, hey, I just want a list of people. So if my people are looking for someone, I can refer you. Will you be around?
Yeah.
Now they know that you're looking. Or you can say, how far are you out in your business? Because if you've got somebody who's a really good person and they've got a contracting and they're out till February, you want to be
Mhm.
able to give that information. Now you call your sphere. Hey, how's it going? Do you have a great Thanksgiving? What's going on for Christmas? Have you got any plans? If anything goes wrong, reach out to me. I have a list. I know exactly who's working. Don't get stressed out about it. We all know that the worst thing happens when we least expect it or the least time we want it to happen.
Yeah, like
So
going on the market and having guests over for holidays. Yes.
Exactly.
Mhm.
All of a
Yeah,
sudden you list a property on a Wednesday and they say, actually, we don't want showings Thursday through Monday. And you're like, I just launched the property.
yeah, yeah,
But I would say you need to have that communication and then just genuinely see what's going on in their lives. Because
yeah.
what we know to be true is 5 to 6% of everybody you know will buy and sell in the next year. And you've got to stop limiting what you think they are, whether you think they're a buyer or if you think they're a seller, because they might have gone to the casino and won a bunch of money and want to buy an investment property. Or their kid is in college and hating the dorms and now they're going to go buy a condo. Or somebody who you think only as a buyer, unfortunately, their parents have passed away and now they've got an estate to sell.
Yeah.
So being genuinely caring about what's going on in people's lives is an opportunity for business in the future, and
Yeah.
genuinely caring about people will come back for you. So people want to be connected, and every
Mhm.
time I have my clients call, they're like, "Hey, great, fantastic." And so many times they'll say, "I've been meaning to call you." I hear that time and time again.
Yes. Or we
When
were thinking about upsizing, or we were thinking about downsizing, or yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then
Yeah.
I think the other part to that would be, um, learn to divide your day so that you can give to other people.
Mm.
I think that the day should be divided into 5 different groups. So I think that there is the non-negotiables. That's our
Yep.
family, that's getting the oil changed, that's
Mhm.
getting our hair done, that's grocery shopping. That's the non-negotiables of life. After that comes prospecting. And we're talking,
You
of
wouldn't put
order.
prospecting as a non-negotiable.
Well, no, this is, I divide them into 5 different things. So
Okay.
prospecting, and this is in order of importance, not necessarily chronologically, because things
Okay.
can change during the day. So number 1 is your non-negotiables for your life. Number 2 is prospecting, technically non-negotiable, but it's prospecting. Number 3 is mandatory. That's responding to deals and responding to clients and doing the follow-up. Number 4 is appointments, and number 5 is projects. Pretty much everything in your life will divide into those 5 things. And again, this is order of importance, not chronological. You might be someone who says, look, it's best for me to reach out to my clients from 11 to 1, getting them on their lunch break. Great. You might be somebody who's like, I've got to pick my kids up at 3:45 each day, so I've got to be done by 3:15. Great.
Mhm.
You
That's
put
me.
those
Yeah.
in the schedule, right? And then you
Yeah.
work around it.
Yep. Yep. I'm usually done by the time we pick up our little boy from school. So but it's because, so it's interesting you say that, because I get a lot of advice and I get things from coaches like yourself. And it's like, you guys give great advice. And I realize, like, okay, there's some things that I need to work better on. And then there's some things that I do and I didn't realize it. Like, I actually have kind of those 5 different groups, but I never looked at it that way. I just looked at it as, these are the things I do every single day in my business. And I love that you said, reach out to people to give something of value and not have any expectation to get something back. And I tell people that all the time. If you just build your business that way, where you just do things that are right because they're right, you will get reciprocal business. And I tell people this all the time too, is that if you support other small businesses, they will support you. That's why I think small business is a great one. But one of the things that I'm working on doing better is reaching out to my sphere, because I remember there was this exercise that we did with Bill Pipes years ago. And it was talking about how much money we have in our database and how much is going to transact. And the amount of money that was left in my database from me not actually prospecting in my own database was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. So one of the things I'm working on being better at is giving those CMAs, those market analysis for my past clients. Again, not asking for anything, but just saying, hey, listen, like, the market's changed. I'm sure you've seen a lot of, changes in the market on the news and things like that. I thought you might find it interesting to know exactly what your home is worth and how much equity you have built into it. So I went ahead and ran that market report for you. And you can email it or you can mail it, and then follow it up with a video text. And the amount of people that are like, oh, this is amazing, or following up with people who have bought their home in the last 2 years that are paying 8% interest rate whenever the rates went down to 6% in the mid sixes, saying, hey, now's a good time that you might want to reach out to your lender about refinancing that property. Again, I don't get anything for that. It's just giving value.
And if you don't have past clients, you can still do the same thing for a street. Work street by street through an area and send them
Yeah.
out by mail. You can still do the thing. It's unsolicited, but you're still helping people. And I think what we fail to understand is we think everybody should be on our time schedule, which is,
Mhm.
again, going back to the whole idea of commission breath. And if
Yeah.
you've only got one deal in front of you, that's all you're focusing on. But if
Mhm.
you think about it in the big picture, people's lives change all the time. I can't tell you, and I'm sure you've seen the same thing. Someone says, oh, look, I'm not going to do anything for 2 years. And all of
Mhm.
a sudden, 2 weeks later, they're ready to go because they've had an opportunity to talk with you and they're moving forward.
I have a
But
client in contract with that right now.
yeah, but
And he
that's
wasn't looking till like next year. And then he just out of the blue said, hey, no, I'm ready to go. And we got him in contract. So it happens.
because he had that conversation. And then the second thing is that each one of those people, their lives are not your lives. And if you tell me you know what's going on, I'm going to argue with you. Don't. You don't know who's getting divorced. You don't know who's having a baby. You don't know who's graduating from school. You don't know whose mother is going to be moving in with them and they need to make room for it. You don't know. And
Yeah.
stop presuming that you do. Be curious and ask questions and find out what's going on. And
Be
the other thing is,
curious.
like,
I love
really
that.
curious, because here's what we do know. 5 to 6% of your sphere is ready to move, but every single person that you know knows 3 people who will buy and sell in the next year. So even if you had 100 people, just 100,
Mhm.
maybe 5 transactions there, but that 100 knows 300 other transactions.
Yeah.
So you're being of service and being curious and being a person that they'd be willing to say, hey, you should speak to this person. There is so much potential there.
Yes. So that's what people don't realize is you actually said this early on. You said that the money, like it's more valuable to get more business from the people you've already received business from, which I 100% believe. I think that our ROI is so high on people we've already acquired that it's way like it costs way too much money to go out and get new business. That's what people don't think about. They think they need more lead sources. They need more expensive lead sources. What they don't realize is you have some great lead sources that you can work that includes sweat equity, not so much, money. Because obviously you and I both know that you can lose a lot of money in this business by chasing after the shiny bullet, that, the silver thing all the time. I did that. I was guilty of that. But now I'm starting to realize I have so much business now that I'm getting so much from my past clients now. And again, on social media. So like staying in touch with your sphere that way. So like I have friends that will post things that their kids accomplished. They made the basketball team. They got the good human award. Somebody, right now everybody's kids are committing to colleges. They're getting ready to, sign up and move to these colleges. And when I see them post about it, I'm sending them things like, one of my past clients just posted their daughter's going to the University of Arkansas. So I went out and got her a University of Arkansas a decal for her car, and then a nice card, and I sent it. It's like $5. It doesn't. That's not the point. The point is not the cost. The point is that you've seen something. That's a great way to use Facebook in a non-toxic way. It's just to see what other people are having on in their lives, and then sending them, hey, congratulations on being a good human. Like we need more people like you in the world, and like the amount of times that those people will continue to love on me because I love on them is, and we're talking $5, not even $5 sometimes.
Wait, is that Go Razorbacks? I always think of Ray Allen for that
Yeah, whooping suey
one.
baby. Yes.
But I think that you touched on a point which one of my favorite things. If you've heard of the 5-5-4
Yeah.
too, okay,
It only gets thrown down my throat every week by my coach, Chris. Yeah.
okay. So I've added 2 extra ones to the end of it, so you wouldn't want me to be your coach. So
So tell us what your 5-5-4 is, and then tell us the two
okay,
extra ones that you
so
added.
technically it's 5-5-4-2 now, but it's meet five. You get 5 new people into your database on a daily basis. Reach out to 5 people who are in your database on a daily basis, and reach out to 4 leads or current deals or sellers or whoever you are as part of it.
Mhm.
So that's the conversations. And then the 2 was 2 videos. That changes with the algorithms. Right now, that would be a combination of stories and a post every day on Instagram, or a post every day on Facebook, or a post every day on Google Business. Any one of those, very
Yep.
successful, makes sense. Well, I add to it the 110. And the one is the Google Business update every day, because I think
Yes.
here and Google Business are the 2 number one ways
Love
that all
that.
of my clients
Yes.
get business. And if you don't know how to do an update, reach out to me. I'll show you how. It's so
Or
simple.
Google it. Or Google it.
Good. But and also you don't have to spend all your time doing it. There are so many resources out there to help you
Yes.
schedule this,
Mhm.
or find an assistant to schedule it.
Mhm.
Well, then the 10. The 10 is the most important, because people put their content out there and they're like, nobody's responding, because, excuse my Australianism, they basically spewing up all their content expecting everybody to eat it up. The
Yeah.
reality is that you need to have a connection with people. You need to have a relationship with people for them to relate to your content. You should be finding 10 people every day on social media and connecting with them. On Instagram, that might be following small businesses and sharing their posts to your stories. It might be on Facebook, exactly what you said, which is what I say all the time. Find out what your people are doing
Mhm.
and then send them cards. Also, direct message people. Don't be putting it just on the front page. By all means, like
The
their.
magic's in the DMs, people.
It is, because you
Yes.
become, the algorithm says you're BFFs. And for the
Yes.
next 6 to 9 weeks, depending on what's going on, they will see everything you're doing. You will
Yes.
see everything they're doing. You will suddenly get that connection. They will relate to you. They'll be seeing what's going on, but you're really showing an interest in people. And that's
Yep.
what people want. The number one mistake, I think, again, if we go back to connection, that I see agents make, is expecting that a regular text message or an email is
Yeah.
the only thing. But if they don't hear from you, they can feel like they're just in a spam file. But it's no
Yeah.
different than anybody ever signed up for Old Navy by a mistake and it got an email like
Oh my God,
every single
yes.
day of your life.
Yes.
They can feel like it's like that. They don't
Yeah.
feel your genuine concern, your genuine interest. And so having that connection makes all the difference.
So I have a prime example. I have a prime example of what she's talking about. So my birthday was a couple of days ago, and I had almost 400 people comment on my page, wishing me a happy birthday, and I love that, and it made me feel so loved. But I only had one person send me a video message. And that one far out, I mean, it just crushes, the happy birthdays on my walls. I get it, but it's making that human connection, and it's picking your phone, and she didn't even have makeup on or anything. Like obviously we're friends, but she's also a realtor. But same thing, like I've done video messages, no makeup, just got off my Peloton bike. I'm sweating profusely, like not beautiful at all. And I've sent video messages to agents to get referrals, and I've gotten the referrals over, being in a group where they're tagging 50 people or more in my market. And so it really does matter. And it is about making those connections. And so I always tell people, when you do the video messages, make sure you say their name. Hey, Melannie, happy birthday. Just wanted to send you a quick message, and then I really love, so Eric Hatch is another coach that I'm friends with. But he actually sends a message the day before. It's a video message with a link to all the places that they can get free things for their birthday.
Oh, that's killer.
And I think that's awesome because, again, you're offering something of value. You're just doing it to be nice, and you're sending it the day before. So, because what's the point of sending it the day of? Then you're like, oh, I already have plans all day. But if you send it the day before, they can be like, oh, I can go to Crumble Cookie and get a cookie. Like I can go here and get a free appetizer. Like people love that. I can tell you, people love that stuff because my kids do that and they love it. So,
Yeah.
if you're not doing that, maybe start with that.
I love the day before too because you're cutting through the noise.
Yes. Well, and it's a video message, and you're not one of 4 people posting on somebody's wall. To be honest, like I can't, like trying to get on Facebook is a little bit difficult whenever you're looking at those things because there's so many of those messages. Like I can't go back to 400 people and say thank you. Like I'd have to do one video message. But it's interesting that people are not trying to build connections with people, and those are the people, in my opinion, that don't have any business going on right now. They may be one of those people that have sold 1 to 2 homes this year, is because they're transactional based and not relationship based.
And they're sitting at home and they're wondering why nobody's coming to their door.
Mhm.
And we have to think about it. I often think about being a teenage girl. And if you're sitting at home waiting to meet the right person, it's not
Yeah.
going to happen, right? You have to get out into
Yeah.
the world. Well, it's the same thing with business. You have to get out into the world.
Yeah.
So where can you go and make connections? Where can you go and give back?
Yes.
Because I truly believe that gratitude is such a life-changing thing for our mindset, for who we are, and it gets us busy. So could you go and volunteer for a charity? If you're looking to move your price point, this is a killer one that is easy for you and for other people. A lot of the country clubs, a lot of the yacht clubs do
Oh,
charity events. So find out what charity they're supporting, go work with that charity, make great connections. At the same time, go
love
support
that.
the event that's going to raise the money.
And
Now,
you're giving back.
yeah, you get to give back, you get to meet people, you get to support a charity, and you get to have a fun event. Like
Yeah.
it gets you out
What
in the
could go
world.
wrong?
No, it's
Nothing. Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
And I think it can feel really, for those people who think like I'm an extrovert, I'm not. In fact, the way that I met Shauna is I didn't know anybody and I saw this woman sitting there and I'm like, she looks like she might be in real estate. I don't even know why. I don't know why, but I just turned up at this event.
I'm so thankful. Yeah.
And then I sat down and then I met Sandy and her, like within a few minutes, I met all of these people and it was all
Yeah.
because I just saw this person. I'm not an extrovert by nature.
Yeah.
What I basically do is
But our business, you have to be somewhat of an extrovert.
well, I call it performing
Somewhat.
for the crowd.
Yes.
Well, so I put on my brave face and I'm like, hey, you look like you're sitting alone. Do you mind if I come sit with you? And you just, whatever it is, the amount of times I will walk up to any type of networking event and I'll be like, hi, I'm by myself. Do you mind if I come join your conversation? And I would say predominantly like 99% of the time you're okay. Every now and then someone's like, no, they won't say it, but that's what they're thinking.
And you
But
don't want to be part of that conversation anyways if that's how they're going to behave.
but that's fine. That's
Yeah.
their maybe that's what they needed. Then you walk off. They should go, hey, no worries. I will try somewhere else. Like it's not
Yeah.
that big a deal, but
Yeah.
you can just in that moment make that decision. And the worst thing that can happen, you have a conversation with somebody or they say, I don't want to talk to you. Like
Yeah.
that's the worst thing that can happen. Fine,
Yeah.
walk away. But most of the time people are genuine. They're
Yeah.
also dying for other human connection. You'll get to know them. And if you want someone to think you're the most delightful, sparkling, entertaining joy in the world, just ask questions. And then when they
Yep.
tell you something
Be
else,
curious.
stop waiting to speak.
Yeah. I have that problem. I have that problem where I'm always thinking about the next thing I want to say. And so I'm working on being more present and really listening and having authentic conversations because I get nervous talking to new people. Like,
Mhm.
what am I going to say? I do. People would probably, I guess people would be surprised to hear that. But yes, I am because it's like, I don't know this person. How am I gonna like what questions can I ask? And it's like, but it's very simple. It's just striking up a conversation. And one of the things I always tell people is it's very easy to start talking. Like, I talk about real estate all the time. It doesn't matter where I'm at, what I'm doing, if I'm hosting a group of ladies or whatever. People know that I do real estate because it's very easy to bring it up. The first time you meet somebody, you say, "Oh, hey, it's nice to meet you. I'm Shauna Martinez. Oh, what are you from here? Do you live around here?" And if they say, "Yeah," a lot of times they'll say, "Oh, yeah." And, "Oh, well, have you lived here for a long time?" And they'll say, "Oh, we moved here like 5 years ago." "Oh, like where did you move from?" Like, and genuinely asking those questions. I actually got a listing from doing that, standing behind somebody at a food truck park, like over in my farm. And now I have their house listed, and it's all from somebody just because I started asking questions.
But that was the curiosity, right? You asked the question, you got to know who they were. Like, for instance, I every time we meet up, I'm always asking about where your business is going because that's what I'm focused on and stuff. But I always watch what's going on with your family. But like,
Yeah.
if you were going to reach in and like meet somebody where they're at, and you have no other thing, but maybe they've got a drink in their hand, ask what the drink is. Ask
Yeah.
what they're eating.
Yes.
Notice the case on their phone. Look at their earrings. Look at like,
Compliment them.
well, especially if you like something that people don't
Yeah.
get enough compliments in the world. Now, don't be
Yeah.
phony. Don't be
No, no,
awful.
no. Like if I see somebody that has like really pretty makeup on or something like that, I'm like, "Hey, your makeup is like it's on point.
Mhm.
Like you look beautiful." And people kind of look kind of taken back, but it's genuine when I say it. I think it's really important for people to give people compliments. I think it's especially important for women to build each other up, but that's a whole other conversation. And I have no problem. My husband's like, "They're probably going to think you're weird." I'm like, "Oh well, like I said something nice to them. If they take it weird, that's on them. It's not on me."
I can't help. I love nothing better than walking through an airport or a mall or somewhere, and I see a woman and I love her style. I will stop her and I'll
Yes.
be like, "Hey, I just want to tell you how." And they are just like, "Ooh,"
Yeah.
you can see
Yeah.
them like you can see them stand up straighter. You can see them
Yes.
smile. You literally give them like a boost of endorphins.
Yeah.
And by the same token, I also absolutely adore being able to help somebody if something's not right.
Yeah.
Flies down, a little XYZ, something
Yes.
under the nose, touch your shoes,
Yes.
like whatever.
Yes.
I'll
Like,
be like, "Can I put your tag in?" Like, I'm a little obsessive about
yeah.
tags on people's clothing. It's
Yes, but real friends do that. Real friends do that. Even to strangers. Trust me,
yeah,
they thank you.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I could just go on and on with Melannie. I've known her for a while. We've been through different chapters of our lives together, but all good things have to come to an end. So I just want to say thank you, Melannie, for coming on the call today. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
You can reach out to me on Instagram or, well, probably Instagram. My name has got 2 N's in
Yes,
it.
give us
I mean,
your number.
LANNIEHAY. My number's 269-908. It's so bad because we do that all the time. But you can reach me through my Instagram, and my link tree has all my contacts in there and things you might want to ask about me.
Awesome. And if you're looking to get more business through listings, then you definitely need to check out listingleads.com. Use the promo code espresso, and that will give you 50% off your first month's cost. Let me tell you something. That is by far the best money ever spent. And it goes hand in hand with 100K in 100 days, which if you don't have your pipeline built out, which most people don't, this is a great opportunity for you to do that because you don't have to think about it. It's a set it and forget it kind of thing. You log in every day. It tells you what to do on what days, and you can mix that with your 100K in 100 days. And there is no way that you doing that now that you will not have business that you're closing in the next 60 to 90 days. And who doesn't want that? So
100%.
have a great day and happy prospecting.